Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about recent demand coming from the Member of Parliament from the Meghalaya state of Northeastern India, where he has sought implementation of ILP. ILP stands for Inner Line Permit System amidst the fear of influx of migrants and refugees from Assam as such. So what does ILP system mean? Why there is sudden demand of ILP from Meghalayas? Let us try to understand this in more detail. Now, the MP from Voice of People Party from Meghalaya, called as Ricky Sinkon, he during his meeting with the Home Minister of India Amit Shah has raised an issue and request of implementing ILP as soon as possible in the neighboring in the states of Meghalaya such. The trigger point is believed to be the eviction drive that we are seeing in the Assam, where Assam has begun to crack down on the illegal migrants, refugees largely coming from Bangladesh and the nearby regions, and it is believed that over 3,300 families from the Assam region have been displaced. And because Assam shares a long border with Meghalaya actually, if you look at the map here, it is surrounded by two sides, basically three sides from the Assam. If you look, entire northern part of Meghalaya is having a border with Assam, then the entire eastern part of Meghalaya is having border with Assam, and then even the western part you have the Assam as such. So surrounded by Assam from three sides, and from the fourth side, as you can see in the south, it is having a long border with Bangladesh as such. So whether the illegal migrants and refugees are coming from Bangladesh or they are being displaced from Assam, there is a clear-cut possibility that all these people will enter into the region of Assam as such. If you try to look at the map of India, here this region that you see in the red represents the state of Meghalaya. That is one of the seven states that we have in the northeastern India as such. So this is the trigger point that has led to such kind of demand coming from the Meghalayan politicians. Now, spillover risk also is on the Meghalaya border zone, as we have discussed, because it shares long border with the Assam and the Bangladesh as such. And specifically, if you try to understand, Meghalaya itself is made up of heterogeneous tribal groups. For example, one of the regions that you have is called as Khasi Hills, and Khasi Hills is a region that is largely inhabited by the Khasi tribe, who are indigenous tribe belonging to this particular state as such. So they believe that if there is a large influx of the refugees or internally displaced people or even illegal migrants, that will directly attack and endanger the indigenous identity and culture of Khasi. So that is why people from Khasi tribes are the one who are more vocal toward the implementation of ILP as such. So ILP demand is pending. It's not that for the first time this demand has been raised. ILP demand has been pending since 2019 resolution. Now we talk about resolution. Resolution was actually passed in the State Legislative Assembly of Meghalaya as such. But before going further, I want to bring your attention to the fact that at Legacy IAS Academy, we are going to soon launch our batches. That is going to be launched on 9th and 11th of August. Batches will ensure comprehensive coverage of GS papers. We will ensure that there is one-to-one mentorship and the doubt-solving sessions as well. And to ensure there is a proper and to maximum extent interaction is between faculties and the aspirants. We have regular interaction with educators, and we also have a strict policy of maximum 40 students per batch. Now, we believe that the preparation of UPSC should be done in an integrated manner right from the start, considering both stages, prelims and mains, and even interview stages. And to excel in mains examination, we have a program where we encourage the student to write every day mains answer. And this also can go a long way in instilling confidence in students to tackle any kind of question that might be asked in the mains examination as such. We have test series both for the prelims and mains examination perspective, so that students can get periodic feedback, and based on the evaluation they can understand that what is their strength, what is their weaknesses, and based on that they can further streamline their preparation as such. We also ensure 360-degree coverage of current affairs, as it is also a focus area of UPSC. Now, if you want to know more details of this program, you can give a call at the number displayed here, or you can click the link in the description box of this particular video. Now, if you try to understand the ILP, what does ILP mean? So ILP, that stands for Inner Line Permit, it already is in effect in the neighboring states. For example, you talk about the state of Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram. So these four states are under the Inner Line Permit regime as such. On the other hand, if you talk about the states such as Meghalaya, Assam, Tripura, these states are not under ILP, but these are the states that are included in the 6th schedule of the Constitution. Now, ILP basically is nothing but a constitutional travel permit that is granted by the state government to any outsiders. For example, even if a tourist from any part of India want to visit the states, they need to take this ILP. And for foreigners also, the same permit is called as PAP, that is Protected Area Permit as such. So this ensures that the tribal land, culture and jobs are protected. The indigenous community do not face any kind of threat due to the influx of migrants and refugees, and that is why the ILP system becomes very, very important. Now, as we discussed, in year 2019 itself, Meghalaya Assembly unanimously has passed a resolution that ILP should be granted to the state, and this matter is pending with the Minister of Home Affairs, and several queries and questions by MHA has caused a delay in the implementation of ILP as far as this particular region is concerned. Now, also we have to understand that as far as the border and demographic concerns are related, these are genuine concerns coming from the Meghalayan citizens, Meghalayan people. For example, as we discussed, that Assam shares a long border with Meghalaya. It is surrounding Meghalaya from all the three sides, and more interestingly, this is an example of porous border. Almost 900 kilometers of border that we have is a porous border. Porous border means it can easily be crossed because it is made up of dense forest, hill areas, riverine ecosystems and all that. And thus, overall what you can understand is that management of this border becomes quite difficult as such. And thus, there is also a historical boundary dispute that is unresolved between the both states. And as we know that there is a migration pressure, especially after the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act and the decision of the government to go ahead with the NRC, that is National Register of Citizens, where the goal is to identify all the illegal migrants who have entered Assam after 24th March 1971. They should be identified and deported back. Now, to basically it is believed that to get basically ensure that they are not evicted and they are not deported back to Bangladesh, there is a real possibility that these migrants would try to enter in the nearby states of Assam, such as Meghalaya or other northeastern state as well. And that will obviously threaten the tribal population, the local indigenous tribal population. And also, as these people begin to flow in the Meghalaya, they will occupy some land. So that will also be a challenge and threat to the land security of the indigenous tribes as such. Now, also we have to understand that Meghalaya itself has faced in the past insurgency and regional tensions, because Meghalaya itself, we have several tribal groups, the main being Garo tribes, Khasi tribes, Jaintia tribes. So all these tribes have their own organization, such as HNLC, that is Hinwe Trip National Legislative Council. This is a tribe, this is a group that represents the interest of Khasi tribe. You have ANVC, that is Achik National Volunteer Corps. This represents the interest of Garo tribes as such. So all these groups are active in Meghalaya, and these groups can, again, though they are kind of dormant if we talk about the current situation, but if the migration threat becomes real, these groups can reactivate, these groups can again come back to life, and that can further complicate the insurgency in the Meghalaya state as such. HNLC ideology, if you try to understand, they strictly are fighting for exclusivity of Khasi. They are fighting that the interest of Khasi tribes are not compromised in any manner, and if they feel that this has been compromised due to the influx of migrants, they can again take up the arms and start what you can call as insurgency in the region as such. There is a genuine fear of infiltration, aiding militant recruitment, and ILP can act as a buffer against such insurgent mobility. That is why there has been demand of inner line permit system as such. Now we have to understand that the entire Meghalaya, due to the influx of refugee migrant, that the threat, that the fear that I talk about, it also has repercussions on the internal security of India. How? Let us try to understand. If there is an influx of migrant from Assam or Bangladesh into Meghalaya, obviously it will result into demographic disruption. Demographic disruption means the ethnic community or the ethnic tribes, ethnic groups that you have making up the population of Meghalaya, their percentage share in population will change as the more and more migrants are coming. That will cause disputes as far as the land is concerned, as far as the forest areas are concerned, as far as the natural resources are concerned. So illegal migration or influx of refugees can create land dispute. It will also give rise to increase in the number of undocumented population, and that can further risk cross-border crime and smuggling activities. As you know that the northeastern states are sharing a long border with the Bangladesh as well as with the Myanmar, and this region is known for weapons trafficking, drugs trafficking, narco trafficking and all that, as these make up the part of what you call as golden triangle, especially the Laos, Myanmar and Thailand region. So this kind of activity further can increase. Why it can increase? Simply if we try to understand that the undocumented migrants, they will not be able to get proper job, they will not be able to open their businesses. So to some extent, they might look into the area of crime to survive and feed themselves. Now, as far as the demand is concerned, the particular MP that we have discussed, he has not only demanded the implementation of ILP in Meghalaya, apart from that, he also has put certain other demands to the Home Minister of India as such. For example, the first demand he has made is of constitutionally recognizing the Khasi language. As we have discussed, in the central part of Meghalaya, in the Khasi hills, you have the Khasi tribe that reside and they speak languages, Khasi languages. So he has stated that as per the 2018 Meghalaya Assembly resolution, Khasi language should be included in the 8th schedule of India. Currently in the 8th schedule, we have about 22 languages. Apart from that, he also has stated that as far as any central government offices and central government establishment in the Meghalaya is concerned, preferential employment opportunities should be given to the local tribal youth, if not in the grade A, grade B, at least in group C, and in the support staff position, there should be a preferential treatment as such, so that the employment opportunity in the state can be ensured for the for the local tribes. Apart from that, he also has talked about reviving the air routes. For example, we talk about Meghalaya, the capital of Meghalaya, Shillong. So Shillong airport had earlier connectivity with the Dimapur region in Nagaland. It has connectivity with Agartala, that is the capital of Tripura, and it also has connectivity with the Silchar region of Assam. But as of now, these air routes are not working, they are not functioning, they are not operational. So to revive these air routes is another demand to ensure that there is a regional mobility. Also, it will reduce the travel hardship that the people of these states has to face, because they have to depend on the roadways, which are not always accessible. They are not always the roads, as there is a high risk and chance of heavy rainfall and overall landslides as such. Apart from that, it will also help integrate Meghalaya more closely with the other regions of Northeast, other states of Northeast, and overall with India itself, which also is one of the goal of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Apart from that, he has demanded to upgrade the Shillong Center for the IITM, that is Institute for Travel, Tourism and Management, and to a full-fledged government institution, central government institution. And then it should be ensured by central government that this institution act as a hub for tourism studies, skill development and entrepreneurship, that again will ensure economic development of Meghalaya. As you know that Meghalaya offers a lot of places, lot of sites that are becoming gradually popular with tourists from all across India and even from outside of India, and thus such kind of institute can go a long way in further promoting and boosting tourism. That will also ensure adequate job growth and employment opportunities as well as business opportunities for the local tribal population of Meghalaya as such. So these are the major demands. Now, obviously, while looking at all these demands, central government also have to think from the both perspective, that how to ensure development of the state, and at the same time such development does not come at the cost of compromising the internal security challenge of India as such. For example, the consideration should be over the growth of tourism in Meghalaya versus the influx of outsiders that can further complicate the tribal situation, delicate balance we have. Economic opportunity has to be evaluated along with the cultural erosion, because more number of outsiders, if they are able to enter into Meghalaya state, there is genuine concern that culture of tribals might come under pressure, it might evolve, it might change, and this is something that will also attack the integrity of the cultural integrity and identity of the tribals as such. MRSSI, that is Meghalaya Regional Security Arrangement is concerned, that largely protects the local interest of the tribals against the outsider influx. It ensured that there should be a proper tenant verification, police verification and all that. It is coming in conflict with the hospitality in Meghalaya. If tourists are coming and they are staying for long duration of time, this act as a kind of what you can call as a barrier, and that is why tourists are not able to stay there for long period of time, or they had to go through hard and lot of inconveniences such. Last, they also have to evaluate on the basis of socio-economic uplift versus the risk of neglecting the local tribal population. So based on all these analysis, based on all this evaluation, finally decision may be taken by the central government that whether to or not to implement the ILP, and to what extent the weightage should be given to the other demands raised by the current MPS. That is all about this particular video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more content. Thank you very much.